I'd like to ask you some questions about the future. In particular, I'm interested in your understanding of the role of the professionals in the built environment. Engineers have historically been a professional organisation, professional individuals that have taken advances in technology and science and applied them for the benefit of society. Do you see that continue? What role will engineers have in the future, and what about the other professionals that are involved in the built environment?
So one, having jumped from the tech sector into sort of this hybrid market where we're in the tech sector but working on these types of problems, I found it quite interesting how many different roles existed to make a decision. And so you have engineers and architect engineers, systems guys, infrastructure, all over the place. And we have some of the same in the tech industry. And I think what has become very apparent is that there is a shifting role in, one, how we're educated, because we tend to specialize much too quickly and then we go do our practical work in industry, and that sometimes can blinker us to other developments in other parallel industries or other individuals that interact with us. We can't ignore the biological world, but we do. We don't always necessarily understand all builds of physics that we need to understand. We don't understand anthropology in the way that we need to, and so I think we have to shift to a much more integrated educational environment where there's much better understanding across many fields, and that will drive greater collaboration because we'll be speaking a common nomenclature and have a common vernacular to deal with some of these complex problems. So role for engineers, definitely. I started as a software engineer and still keep my eye on the market in that area, but for me it's when the Pritzker Prize gets awarded to a non-architect, I think we'll get there. In the same way that the Renaissance, some of the greatest infrastructure that ever built was designed by artists who happened to be mathematicians and also were maybe architects or physicists or whatever they may be. But they took a collective view and a holistic view of society at that point and could imagine how it might evolve, and out of that came the answers. And there was some enabling technology in that, in mathematics at the time. But so I see an increasing role of tech to look at the whole value chain of what we design and create, but with a much more Artesian approach to how we think about these complex problems, because they are not just mathematical equations, they're highly organic in their outcomes.